Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Sandhammam Munirajase Sunantu Sagga Mokkadam Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhamma Savana Kalo Ayam Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Idang ko pana bhikkave dukkhang ariya saccang jati pi dukkha jara pi dukkha vyadhi pi dukkha maranang pi dukkhang appiyehi sampayogo dukkha piyehi vimpayogo yang pecang nalabati tampi dukkang sangkittena pancupadanakkhandha dukkhati. Dear friends in Dhamma, today we are going to deliver some special Dhamma talk in Ottawa Theravada Buddhist Vihara and Cultural Center in Ottawa, in Canada. So I'm usually every Monday at 8 delivering Dhamma talk on YouTube. Everybody can listen this auspicious Dhamma talk through YouTube or social medias. So there is what great occasion in this period to listen Dhamma using of internet. That's what a great occasion without using any wasting times. So we can protect times due to using of internet. So that's what you can understand and you can listen this great Dhamma sermon on YouTube. Anyway, so last Dhamma session I have conducted describing of what is the Four Noble Truths, and I have already explained about in Dukkha Arya Satya, that means the suffering, the truth of suffering. I have described some part of truth of suffering. So like Jati Dukkha, that means the birthing is suffering, And then the second one is Jarapi Dukkha, decaying, the declining is suffering. So those two parts I have already discussed. In current situation, a lot of people are suffering, a lot of mental sufferings. They have been occurring in their inside soul. That's what we have to consider mainly, how to get rid of those all sufferings that peoples are suppressing from these mental negativities. In Buddha's period, so many philosophers tried to give a lot of advices to get rid of these mental illnesses, like Pakuda Kachayana, like Mahavira, like Nigantanatha Buddha. Those who are trying to give advice to people, how to console, how to conceal, how to cessation of these types of mental illnesses. What are the mental illnesses that period people have, like frustration, like mental negative thoughts, and also bipolar, and also what's the meaning of this life, how to live without suffering, how to live without mental negativities, how to understand this mind. Those types of variety of questions that the people's mind was occurred at the period of Buddha. As a great philosopher, the Buddha tried to give better answers to the people who are keen on listening great and truthful doctrine, truthful philosophical teachings. Those people wanted to ask anyone. So that's why the Lord Buddha tried to give them great answers for their mental illnesses or mental questions. So that is why these Four Noble Truths are very important for the all human beings. This Four Noble Truths give us what are the mental illnesses. That's what describing in Dukkha Ariya Satya, the noble truth of suffering. The second one is Dukkha Samudaya Satya. That's what giving us to understand what is the cause of this suffering. And then the third one is Dukkha Nirodha Satya. How to cease, how to cease from these types of suffering. And the final one is Dukkha Nirodha Gamini Patipada Ariya Satya. What's the way that leads to get rid of these suffering? So when it comes to modern psychological words, we can describe those four types of Four Noble Truths in this way, like, diseases, diagnosis, the third one is prognosis, the final one is prescription. That's what we can describe in modern psychological or modern technical words that we can use to describe those Four Noble Truths. How important understanding or listening or observing these four types of noble truths to get rid of all the mental illnesses. In Roga Sutta, in Samyutta Nikaya, the Lord Buddha said there are 44 types of mental negativities. such as arrogance, hatred, greediness, and also craving, and also we can say agitation, and also we can say dissembles, and also we can say envy, and also we can say doubt. There are a lot of mental illnesses that people are suppressing. All those types of mental negativities are coming through mind like thoughts. All positive things and all negative things belongs to thoughts. Everything is thoughts. How can we understand these bodiless thoughts with using of these Four Noble Truths? That is what the special point of to understand what is the nature of our mind. That's the main observation, and that's the main focus on how to understand this mental thoughts. That is why the Lord Buddha understand these Four Noble Truths at the time of his young age. The Buddha was learned so many things, Rig Veda, Yajur Vedic traditions, that the Lord Buddha was learned under so many teachers. After understanding, after learning of variety of subjects, the Lord Buddha understand that is not helpful to understand what's the reality of this world. In Arya Pariyesana Sutta, in Middle Length Discourse, the Lord Buddha promulgated one of the special sutta called Arya Pariyesana. What is the noble observation of the world? That's the name of sutta. So in that sutta, mentioned that the Lord Buddha wanted to observe what's the reality of in this world, Arya Pariyesana. So and then, while he's observing of the reality of in this world, the Buddha understood these Four Noble Truths. That's the everlasting truth in this world. I'm remembering just one special and one sweet story. At the period of Buddha, there was one famous Buddhist monk who was helped to Buddha, called Ananda, Venerable Ananda. On the one occasion, Venerable Ananda came to just meet the Buddha, and then having bowed down to the Buddha, then asked, "Dear Lord, not understanding of these Four Noble Truths, people are suffering throughout metempsychosis. Metempsychosis. That's the word of circle of samsara, metempsychosis. Not knowing, not understanding of these Four Noble Truths, people are suppressing, people are suffering all the way throughout this metempsychosis. How can we understand our inside mind, our inside soul? That means in Pali, Vijnana. The Lord Buddha answered to the Venerable Ananda, "Dear Venerable Ananda, there is a one way. The people who do not understand this way, that is the cause to suffering throughout their samsaric life. The way is understanding of these four types of noble truths. Anybody can understand the ultimate truth, the ultimate happiness. That is why we have to understand these Four Noble Truths. That is what I wanted to give you, like in the beginning of Dhamma sermon, To understanding of this Four Noble Truth is very important to understand the reality of the world and human body and the nature of human mind, especially. The mind is proceeding, the mind is the forerunner of the human life. That is what we have to understand, the nature of mind. Understanding of mindset, the people who can lead to their ultimate happiness. And they are the able one who are understanding of these types of Four Noble Truths. They will understand every problematic things that arising in their mind. That is the everlasting truths of the world. The every Buddha said and every Buddha preached these Four Noble Truths to cessation of these metempsychosis for the all human beings who are living and who are suppressing all the sufferings. Buddhism is actually not pessimistic. The Buddhism is optimistic philosophy. That's what we have to understand at the first. As the optimistic religion, as a optimistic philosophy that the Buddhism gives us to a lot of solution to understand our mindset. You know, in modern psychology, the describing the ways how to understand, how to emphasize our mental diagnoses and mental illnesses. But 1,000 years ago, the great philosopher, the Lord Buddha said, all the mental illnesses and how to come with those illnesses to our mind. What's the cause? Those suffering are arising to our mind. That is why in Dhamma Chakkappavattana Sutta, the circle of the wheel of Dhamma, that Sutta mentioned especially those Four Noble Truths to understand what is the reality of human mind. So I have explained already two aspects. The first one is Jatipi Dukkha, birth is suffering. The second one is, I have already discussed, Jarapi Dukkha. I'm going to today describe another part of the cause of sufferings, the reasons for sufferings. The third one is, the Lord Buddha preached, how can we effect decaying is suffering. Sorry, the third one is Vyadipi Dukkha. That means diseases are all the way suffering. Vyadi in Pali. So there are two types of diseases that cause to human beings. The first one is mental illnesses. The second one is body pains, body illnesses. You know, in Maha Moggallana Sutta, in Maha Kassapattera Bojjanga Sutta, and the third one is Maha Chundattera Bojjanga Sutta. Those three suttas illustrated that how can we console our mind while we are suppressing the body illness. How to be strong our inside mindset with using of 7 factors. That is what the Buddhism forced to human mind, the bottom level to utmost level, giving spiritual advices to the human mind. Giving psychological aspects, giving psychological methods to the human mind. The Lord Buddha encouraged people who are suffering with mental illnesses to get rid all the mental diseases, fulfilling of spiritual ideas. Like example, Panya, the fulfilling of the understanding of Panya, the wisdom, we can understand what are the problems, what are the reasons that occurred to our mind to arise those types of mental illnesses. How can we eliminate all the suffering from our mind without any nation, without any special language? There are so many people who are living in this world. They are using a lot of languages to communicate their ideas throughout the world. We are dividing so many peoples country-wise and also language-wise and also religion-wise. But as a universal truth, as a universal philosophy, the Buddhism gives us to common ideology to the human mind. There is no any color in our blood, right? Every human beings have one color blood, like red. There is no any color bloods in the world. That is how it looks like. Buddhism is effects to all the human mindsets. So understanding of this nature of our mindset with using of understanding of Buddhist philosophy gives us to very peaceful, very happiness life forever. Vyadi dukkha. Everybody have to face those types of diseases. Vyadi, that means disease, illnesses, mental illnesses or body illnesses. So many doctors in the planet who are able to give medicines for the body pains, like cancer, like diabetes, like HIV, like any diseases that will happen to our body. There are so many doctors, there are so many medicines in the planet that we can find out wherever we want. But the thing is, how can we console, how can we give medicine for our mental illnesses? That is the big problem. The poor people, the rich people, or black people, or white people, or nationwide, or country-wise, so many people. No, but the Buddha said that no one is in the planet without suffering with mental illnesses. Everybody has mental problematic things. That's why the Lord Buddha said that Dukkho loko patittito. The world is based on suffering. All the universal things are based on suffering. That's why how we can understand these types of mental illnesses with using of Four Noble Truths. That's not easy one, but we have to use it to our mindset. If we can able to understand these types of simple Four Noble Truths to our mindset, that will be help to understand all the mental illnesses, the frustration, bipolar, or any other mental illnesses, depression or stress or hatred or anger. So even we can control our anger management with using of these Four Noble Truths. In current situation, there are a lot of people getting suddenly angry. We can, using of these Four Noble Truths, we can understand, we can get rid all the mental hatred thoughts from our mindset with cultivating of Buddhist meditations, especially, breathing meditation or loving kindness meditation, any types of meditation that we can helpful to cease all the hatred thoughts. That is how important emphasizing of Vyadipi Dukkha, the cause of disease is illness. The understanding of illness is based on disease, that we can get rid some sort of mental negative thoughts. That's the nature. Like kings or like presidents or like ministry or any special person or any celebrities. Actually, they have to even face those types of suffering. Nobody could able to cease all the sufferings. Everybody has faced to confront to all the sufferings. That is what common regulation actually. Everybody should understand this nature of reality of world. The next one, I am moving to describe next one, Vyadipi Dukkha. The another one is Maranampi Dukkha. The human beings are not liking to die. The people do not want to die. People like to live everlasting the world. So, but that is not occurring in this planet. That's what the reason is. This body is Based on this body is created by using of there are 4 elements. We can elucidate these 4 types of elements like Mahabhuta. What are the 4 types of Mahabhuta? That means fire. Fire means Tejo. The air means Vayu. The water means Apo. The 4th one is soil, Patavi. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu. Soil, water, air, fire. Those 4 types of elements cause to create this body. So, whenever people understand the nature of this human body, they will able to understand we have to face one day the final step of our life. That means we have to face death. At least at one time in a day, we have to remember that reason. We have to remember that aspect. We have to die one day. We have to die one day. But without thinking of dying, so many people are doing lot of greediness. You know that greediness is going to increase mental illnesses. That is why the Lord Buddha promulgated there are 3 types of desires that arise to our mind, increasing of mental negativities. Lobha, dosa, moha. Greediness, that means lobha. Dosa means hatred. And then another one, the final one is hatred. Delusion, illusion, or we can say ignorance. Lobha, dosa, moha. Those 3 types of desires cause to every mental negativities to arise our mind without any efforts. Maranam pi dukkham. Everybody have to face marana. You know the famous American author we can call Edgar Cayce. He had wrote one of the very famous book, many mentions. That book gives us so many examples, so many descriptions about reincarnation and death. The based on Buddhism, he had wrote that book actually. That book gives us to understand what is the nature of the death and reincarnation, and also what is the responsibilities of this life. The Lord Buddha said on one occasion, Chittena niyati loko. The mind is the forerunner for human body. The mind is deciding everything. The mind is the main thing that controlling human body. We do not give to our mind any occasions to, any regulations to, or we do not want to, we have to control our mindset actually. That means self-regulation. We have to control our mindset. Controlling of our mindset gives us to reduce our mental illnesses. So that means when we are facing to our final step of our life, that occasion we can understand, we can face very comfortably. That means with mindfully. With using of mindfulness, that gives us to great life in our next life. That's what, how to get rid maranampi dukkha. So the next one is going to appiyehi sampayogo dukkho. Everybody, even me, like to companion with good ones, not to bad ones. Not only human beings, but also animal even like to live with good ones. The Lord Buddha said in the sutta called Singalovada, they're giving advice to that merchant was Singala. That sutta discussed about the style of lay life. In that sutta, the Lord Buddha said, describe, there are 4 types of good people, and then as opposite, there are 4 types of bad peoples in this planet. How can we understand who are the best person to companion with our life? If nobody can associate with good person, they have to live alone. That is a Buddha's advice. Charang che nadi gaccheya seyyang sadisamattano eka charyang dalhang kaira natti bale sahayata. If someone couldn't able to associate or couldn't able to find out good person, he or she has to live alone. That's the omniscient sign one was gave us as a great advice to our life. Companionship with bad friends is suffering. Some people are, at once we can understand they are not good persons, but someone are, conceiting people. That is the very hard occasion to understand. Someone's are conceiting, someone's are pretending others. Pretending people's usually looks like actor or actress. Their outside is beautiful. They are dressing nice. Their face is nice. Their body is nice. Body shape is nice. But the inside mind is not so good as their appearance. The inside mind is, it looks like a snake, with poison of snakes, or looks like tiger. They have brutal mindset. Actually, the Lord Buddha said, someone who are living with the poison of snake looks like their mindset. They are the one who are suffering with their mental poisons. But it is harmful to good people. That is why good people are listening Dhamma to understand human beings and the nature of world. That's the good beneficial, giving us to understand both things. Actually, at that time, the Lord Buddha wanted to describe companionship with harmful persons are giving abundant, giving a lot of problems, giving a lot of harmful thoughts, giving bad advices to the good people. The next one is describing piyehi vipayogo dukkho. So the meaning of piyehi vipayogo dukkho is going to describe some best friends, some good persons who are living with us. They are going to another places, or they are going to another country, or they are moving to another place. That's giving us suffering. Because as a Buddhist philosopher, the Lord Buddha said, the first step is understanding of this noble doctrine is companionship with good friends. That's the first step. With dwelling with good persons is giving us more benefits. So, like example, at the period of Gautama Buddha, there was two friends who called Kolita and Upatissa. The both ones was very good friends. They are close friends, and they was very, very close friends. The both of them were going to watch dramas. So while they are watching all the dramas, they had watched all the way together. But something is happening, special things for one, like Kolite's understanding, or Kolite has known one thing. The Kolite wanted to say Upatissa. That's the close friendship. At once understanding of or listening of this Dhamma sermon delivered by Venerable Assaji to Kolita, he was engaged to tell Upatissa this nature of understanding of this Dhamma. And then both of them went to meet the Lord Buddha, and then listening of those types of Dhamma sermon from the Buddha, both of them had became as Buddhist monks. So there's one story of how important is companionship with good friends. Today, we have discussed about there are so many things in our Dhamma discussion. The first noble truth is going to be noble truth of suffering, dukkha, arya satcha. Under this aspects, we have to understand what is the reasons, what are the reasons for the suffering. So we have discussed already, as Buddha said, Jatipi dukkha, Jarapi dukkha, Vyadipi dukkha, Maranampi dukkha, Appiyehi sampayoga dukkha, Piyehi vippayoga dukkha. Those types of mental illnesses, mental aspects, mental thoughts was based on this particular truth. That's what we have to understand, the nature of our mind. All things are based on thoughts. The thoughts are the main reason for the arising of all the mental illnesses. Anyway, we have discussed a lot of things today. I think there is enough for today's Dhamma sermon. You can give comments under the below comment section. That is helpful to our further discussions. So I'm going to stop my Dhamma sermon today. We will meet another Dhamma session in next Monday. The next Monday, I'm going to discuss about what is the cause of suffering, the second truth of Four Noble Truths. Thank you so much for hearing today's Dhamma sermon. I think everybody can understand this simple Dhamma talk with using of YouTube channel. So anyway, finally, I would like to bless everybody. May you all beings be well and happy and peaceful, and all the mental suffering be ended with listening of this Dhamma sermon forever. Thank you so much. Let's transfer all the merits to all the devas. Transferring of all the devas these merits, may they all attain ultimate truth of Nibbana. Akasattaha cha bummattaha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu loka sasanam. Abhivadana siris niccang vanda pacayino chantaro dhamma vaddante ayuvanno sukham balanti.